Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Civil LJIET. Myself Maitri Dave, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to discuss about building planning. So let us start our lecture number 3 for building planning. But before that, let us recall what we have learned in previous lecture. We have discussed basically two topics, in which the first one is all about basic requirement for building planning, and secondly the typical building layouts, right? So now for today's lecture we are going to discuss three topics in detail, in which first topic is all about introduction to building drawings. Then we will see how to draw these building drawings, right? And lastly we will see the symbols for door, window and materials, right? So without wasting much time, let us start our topic 1, which is all about introduction to building drawings, right? So for that we have to understand that what is the concept of building drawings and what are the details that to be mentioned in drawings, right? So here let us understand first the concept of building drawings, right? So I can say that drawings is the language of the engineer, when the mean of the building drawing is to give sufficient information by the designer to the construction engineer, right? In order to give sufficient information about the building, following views are generally drawn. It means these are known as the working drawings or plan, where we have to discuss about the plan, elevation and section of a building. So now let us understand first these three terms in detail, where first we are going to discuss about the plan. So the plan of a building gives the general alignment or location of different rooms of the building, where the plan drawn in building is not simply the top plan seen from the top of the building, but here the building is imagined to be cut by a horizontal plane seen from the top of the building. As you can see in this figure that we have to cut it horizontally and the top portion is uplifted. Then after we are going to look at what is actual condition for that building. That is known as the plan. Here the center portion is the drawing of plan, that is known as the plan of a building, right? Here it is a plan of a room having a window and a door, right? Now let us understand the second terminology, which is elevation, right? So the view of a building as seen from the front or side is known as the elevation. Now you can see in this figure that if we look from the front or a side, what is the look? That is known as the elevation of any building. Here, the architectural beauty of any building depend upon the relative portions of the different parts to each other and to the entire face of the structure. So for drawing front elevation of the building, imagine to stand in front of the building. It is very easy, right? So this is all about elevation. Now let us understand what is section. So here you can see the cross section is taken to furnish more detail for the work to be executed. Here you can see one drawing is there, where this is the plan. Besides that, it is the detailed plan. Above that, it is the elevation, and by side you can see that is the section XX, where here in this figure you can see a XX line is mentioned, right? So I am trying to say the building is imagined to be cut by a vertical plane, right? Vertically. So whatever you can see, it is drawn in this section. Now from where you want to cut it vertically, that is your section line. It can be a line XX or it can be a line AA, whatever, but the section line should be there, right? So the cross section gives the height of the building, doors, windows, cupboards, stairways and their locations, right? So this is all about the section. Now let us understand what are the details to be mentioned in drawing. So basically there are 4 terms, in which first one is the construction and the technical details. Secondly, we will see some general notes. Then we see the schedules, and lastly the direction, right? So let us understand the first construction and technical details. Now, especially for doors, windows, cupboards, stairs, railings, cornices, reinforcement in RCC works and other specially treated features required separate views describing them in detail. So, good details are therefore necessary to be drawn as a part of a set of working drawings, right? So, details consist of the base views and cross sections which can describe the design and construction of the particular element or part of a building should be considered. So, scales used for details are 25th, 10th and so on, right? So, this is all about the construction or the technical details. Secondly, we will see the general notes. It means what we have to do. Often details and certain points are better described by words than by a drawing, right? So for this, very purpose notes are written on the set of working drawings suitably for ready reference. So the size of such notes depend upon the type and amount of information to be given by it. Here you can see one note is mentioned. So here you can see the size is depend that what you want to show over there, right? So this is all about the general notes. Now let us discuss the schedules. So here I can say besides general notes, schedules give the details of doors and windows, rooms and their finishing and details of reinforcement, right? So preferably these schedules are given on the drawings illustrating the main plan, right? So the various doors, windows and cupboards may be designated as D1, D2, W1, W2, C1 and C2 based on their sizes. So I can say a schedule of a doors, windows and cupboards then given their size, description and total number of each type against such conventions as D1 and D2, etc. Right? So this is all about schedules. Here you can see that a tabulation forms are adopted for such schedule that you will see when we talk about the building drawings, that how the schedules are prepared and what is the importance of schedules are. So let us discuss these schedules of doors, windows and ventilation. Here you can see that tabular form where, as I said, the door, window and ventilation, for that symbols like D, D1, D2, W1, W2 and V are there. Here I have mentioned their respective sizes and the number. It means if I am talking about a residential building where the door having a size of 1/2 is 2, right? It means 2 doors having a size of 1/2 are used or utilized for that particular building. So this is the concept where one can identify that what is the size of opening, right? Now let us understand the north direction. So it is very important term when we talk about the planning. So north point shall be clearly indicated in any plan or drawing, right? So it shall be drawn on the right hand top corner of the drawing. At the same time, the drawing of north is specified. It means I cannot draw north as per my perception. I have to follow these standards, right? So these 3 ways from which we can draw the north symbol, right? So this is all about the north direction. So we have discussed the introduction to building drawings. Now let us see how to draw these building drawings, right? So before drawing in detail, that is plan, elevation and section, first we have to draw the line plan of any building. Now what is that line plan? So an owner's requirement changes with his needs, right? Therefore, preparing the plan, preparing a line is important. Now what is a line plan? So here on screen you can see this is the line plan where the size of room and purpose of room is decided, not the doors and windows arrangement or not the thickness of wall are there. Simply we are trying to put the size of room and the purpose of room firstly. Then we can modify it as per the requirement, right? Alternative line plan would give scope for comparison by changes in the sizes of some rooms, right? Only the baseline plan is adopted. So it shows generally the shape of the general layout of the various rooms, enclosing walls and dividing partitions, the position of doors and windows, portable furniture and equipments, etc. are shown over here, right? It is provided with internal dimensions and short notes explaining the ideas involved, right? So I can say by using the line plan, the detailed working drawings, it means the plan, elevation and section can be prepared. It means for rough work or the first thing that one should do for building drawing is to make a line plan first, right? So that is very important. Now, let's see the example number 1. When in exam, it can be asked like this, that draw a detailed plan, elevation and section of a room of size 4 meter by 3 meter. Take plinth height as 45 centimeter. Also prepare the schedule giving description of door, window, ventilator and cupboards, right? Here on screen, you can see this is the plan, this is the elevation and this is the section, right? So, for plan, you can see over here a room with 4 by 3 is drawn. Where in plan, what are the main components? That is the thickness of wall should be there. You can see this is the thickness of wall having some doors and window arrangement. Here you can see these are the windows, right? 2 windows are there. It means for schedule of doors and window, I have mentioned that window having number of 2 where the size is specified, as well as the door size, it means a single door is there. It means I have mentioned as 1 and its size is mentioned over here. Even the cupboards are there. It means their respective sizes and number are mentioned over here. But I can draw all these with respect to north. And as I said, I have to put it specific marking, right? So this is the north. With respect to this, I have to arrange my door and window. Now you have to apply all the principle of planning for aspect, prospect, roominess, grouping. All this comes in picture while you are putting all these windows, door and the sizes of room, right? Here the thickness of wall is around 30 centimeter, right? Now, once you draw the plan, you can draw the elevation from it because you are simply extending the lines in such a way that you can get the idea about the elevation. But in elevation, you supposed to get the height. As you can see it from the front, you get the height over here. While in plan, you simply get the length and the width, right? So here from the front view, you can visualize this door as well as the window. So here you can see this door and the window, right? Now, once you draw the elevation, you can draw the section. So here from these, you have to extend the lines like this. This is not the way, but I am trying to say that we have to extend the lines to get the height. And then after we have to provide the cross section. But if you remember for section, we have to take the section line. It means from axis, I can cut this room in vertical plane and get these details like foundation, the floor details, then the width of the columns, right? So these all are these section details that you will understand that how a building will look like from the inside. Actually, the construction or the material, which material is used for this construction. Now you better understand that building construction chapter where you have discussed all this cross section in detail, which type of structure it is, how much load is acting on it, all we have learned, right? So this is the correlated to that section is look like this. So now you can see that answer where you have seen that the plan, elevation and section is there. So this is all about this example number 1, right? Now let us move to the example number 2, where we have draw a detailed plan, elevation and section of a residential building from the line sketch diagram given, as well as give necessary dimensions and position of doors and windows. So here you can see that this is the line diagram which is already given. It means it says that it is a room size having this, again this size of room is like 3 by 3. This is the veranda, this is the balcony, right? Now I have to draw the plan and elevation and section. So here you can see this is the plan. So for plan, you know that first we have to draw the north. This north condition for that particular site should be drawn like this. After that, we have to draw from the line plan, the plan where the difference between line plan and plan. Now you can clearly see that in line plan, we are just putting the size of room and the main purpose of room. But in the plan, we are going to provide the external walls thickness as well as the dimensions for door and window. we can say the arrangement of door and window and their dimensions that we are providing is this schedule of openings. It means the door and windows, right? So this is the plan. Now, if I have to arrange the elevation and section, so here you can see that the elevation we can get from the plan, right? So here the height we identify when we look from the front side, and as we extend this line, I want to say like this, right? In previous example, I am trying to say these lines are extended in such a way so that we can get this section from this elevation. And now you all better understand how this section is drawn for any building, right? So this is all about the elevation and section, where in section the foundation, the cross section, it means the windows, doors and the thickness of wall, all are mentioned clearly, right? So it gives you the detailed idea. Now, let us understand the last topic for today's lecture, which is symbols for doors, windows and material. It means for symbols for doors and windows, I can say this is a very huge list where a single shutter or a double shutter or a different revolving door or the external rolling shutter, all these kind of doors are symbolized in such a way that if we draw a plan, then at that time I draw the symbol of door. From that I can identify that which kind of door I have provided, right? I don't have to visit that particular building. I simply read the plan and identify which kind of door are there. Same for the windows. You can see over here the different types of windows are there having a different symbol, right? Now let us understand the symbols for materials. Now why we have to understand this? Because when we draw the cross section of a building, at that time different types of material we can identify. Here you can see the bricks. We know that for wall we use bricks maximum, right?